Welcome to BibleLink. It's great to see you today. BibleLink exists to link the Bible to real life, your life. We've been intentionally moving through the scriptures slowly, one chapter at a time, so we could slow down and pay attention to what's happening. We've been reading one chapter a day, Monday through Fridays. We've been taking the weekends to catch up. Hope you've been reflecting on that. And going slowly allows anybody to join us at any time. If you know somebody who could benefit, invite them to join us. We've come to the end of John. In the chapter 21, Jesus shares a fishing adventure with some disciples. He reinstates Peter, and he reaffirms him after Peter's denial of him. Remember, the author of this gospel, John, was a disciple. He shared private moments with Jesus. He witnessed the transfiguration. He watched Jesus bring a young girl back to life, and he even watched for Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. After Jesus was arrested, John witnessed the trials, and get this, he's the only disciple mentioned as being near the cross at the time of Jesus' death. He was also the first in the group to hear the women declare the resurrection had occurred. Somehow this process, this coming to know who Jesus was, it changed John. John had an interesting nickname, Son of Thunder. Look it up in Mark 3. Several accounts in the gospel point to his stormy personality. He resented competition from other workers, and he even insisted on having the best seat in the kingdom of heaven for himself. But somewhere in John's life, the thunder clouds ceased. Somehow, Jesus broke through. And get this, John got a new name. John is now referred to as the Apostle of Love. How about that, huh? John's Gospel and the books he later wrote, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, are all marked by this reoccurring theme of love. One of the most wonderful things about Scripture is that reading the words about Jesus can change us. Have you been changed by reading John? Have you grown in your understanding of Jesus? Has Jesus been able to break through the clouds in your life? These stories were written so that we would know Jesus is the Son of God. Are you more certain after our journey in John? This book ends with Jesus affirming Peter's place in God's plan. As you remember, Peter had denied Jesus on the night of his capture. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, just as Jesus had predicted. Can you imagine the shame, the guilt, the sense of failure that Peter must have felt? And yet this chapter, it ends with a beautiful scene of reconciliation, forgiveness, and hope. Jesus asked Peter the same question not once, not twice, but 3 times. Oh, how that must have been a reminder to Peter of his denial, his failure, and his betrayal. But the question, oh, how that question moves Peter. It restores him, it fortifies him, and it sets in motion the impetus for Peter to be a leader in the early church. One simple question Jesus asked 3 times. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you truly love me? Perhaps the best way for us to end the Gospel of John is to ask ourselves the same question. Do we love him? Do we love him? Do we truly love Jesus? Our prayer for you is for you to continue to grow in your knowledge and devotion to Jesus Christ. Most of all, our prayer is for you to grow in your love for Jesus Christ. We hope that you've enjoyed reading the Gospel of John with us. We hope you've been able to link the words of Scripture to your faith and to link it to your life, real life. Please leave a comment on Facebook today about how you grew during this study. Look for details on our next study and continue always, always to chase after Jesus.